Mauricio coming with you guys live, and today's topic is going to be downtrend structure on the H1 time frame. Okay, how to grab the correlation of the H4 time frame with the H1 time frame as well. Okay, so on the last video we were able to identify our downtrend structure on H4 time frame. As you guys can see, I have downtrend structure on H4 time frame right here. Now the next step I need to do is I need to go on my H1 time frame so that way I can identify entries for us to actually sell into. Okay, so we actually see that right here we have a lower high, and then right here we also have a lower high. Okay, so our lower highs are going to be entry points that we're going to be looking at to enter in the market. Now we are not entering on the H4 time frame. We're actually looking on the structure on the H1 time frame with the correlation of the H4 time frame, and we're entering on M30s. Now the M30 entry is going to be based off of price action. That we're going to be going over on the next videos. But for now, you want to know the correlation of the H4 time frame with the H1 time frame. Okay, so we are on the H4 time frame right now. I'm going down to the H1 time frame, and I want to do a correlation between both structures, the H4 time frame and the H1 time frame. So I'm going to go back over here. Now I'm going to see if there's any structure that correlates with the H4 time frame. Okay, we clearly see that the market right here created a lower high on our H4 time frame. Okay, perfect. Now we can see over here, same aspect, we did a lower high on our H4 time frame. Now we want to know how to identify our lower lows and our downtrend structure on H1 time frame as well. That way we can have better entries in the market with lower drawdowns. Okay, so right here we can actually see and identify that the market has been creating a lower high, a lower low right here, a lower high, and a lower low right here. So we actually had two entries right here, just due to the fact that we had determined we had a lower high on the H4 time frames, and then when we go down to the H1 time frames, we also have that downtrend structure on H1 time frames, which right here we're looking for lower highs as well. Okay, so we can clearly see that in this area the market had created a lower high, it came back down, it broke structure, and it created a new lower high, and so on. So these areas right here are actually entry areas for us to identify and actually enter off of them, okay? Backed up by price action and Fibonacci's and other confluencies that we're going to be going over on the next videos. But for now, I want you to be able to correlate your H4 time frame with your H1 time frames, okay? If it is on a downtrend, we are looking for H4 time frame higher lows, and then we are looking for structure on H1 time frame as well to correlate as well, okay? So right here, we're actually seeing, let me label it for you guys. We actually see a low point, which is our lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and lower low. So what you guys can actually see is this structure right here and see this structure right here. We've been having downtrend structure. Okay, so these entries are going to be entries that we're going to be looking for to actually identify and have advantage of them to enter off of them. Okay, it's very important for you to have a correlation of the structure. Right over here we can also see some downtrend structure. We can see this area right here that has created downtrend structure. It comes back up, it creates a new lower high, comes back down, creates a lower low, comes back up, it creates a lower high. So as you guys can see, is the market's respecting structure. It's been creating lower lows and lower highs the whole time. And you also want to be able to identify these areas and label them as so. Okay, so these areas would be our lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and this area right here would also be a lower high. Now in this area right here is going to be our lower low, our lower low, and our lower low, and this right here is also a lower low. Okay, so as long as you are on a downtrend on the H4 time frame, you also want to identify the H1 time frame structure just so you can correlate them and have a better understanding of the market, where the direction is actually going. Okay, so therefore we'll be actually going on the breakup structure and so on the next videos, but for now you want to know how to identify and correlate your H4 time frame with your H1 time frames. So this is how you correlate them. This is how you take into consideration your H4 and your H1 and put them together. So therefore, I'll be seeing you guys on the next videos.